lovelies, it's me, Gremlin Depp, here in beautiful Venice, Italy, and we're back with another bargain bin movie review. This week's movie is a 2010 thriller comedy, The Tourist. Frank, a mild-mannered American on vacation in Venice, Italy, is befriended by Elise, a breathtakingly beautiful woman with a mysterious secret. Soon, their playful romantic dalliance turns into a complicated web of dangerous deceit as they are chased by Interpol, the Italian police, and Russian hitmen in this suspense-filled international action thriller.
Rated PG-13.
Angelina Jolie plays Elise Clifton Ward, the dazzlingly beautiful criminal who is on the run from the law. She is strong-willed and intelligent. Her friendly yet seductive smile helps her always get her way. Jolie is perfect at playing this calm and cool leading lady. She also gives some emotional performance when it's called for. Though I was surprised that this isn't the femme fatale type of role that I'm used to seeing her playing. Elise is more calculating rather than physical. Johnny Depp plays Frank Tupelo, a Wisconsin math teacher who is on vacation. He is an awkward guy who falls for Elise at first sight. This sounds like the perfect role for Depp, right? But honestly, he left me wanting more. Johnny was good in the beginning, being flustered at Elise's advances. But as the movie went on, it began to feel a little phoned in. The chemistry just wasn't there. He was missing his usual odd guy charm. What should have been more of a fish out of water role ended up being more of a bump on a log role. If you look at this DVD case and the promotional photos for this movie, you'll see that Johnny Depp looks really suave, which I think defeats the purpose of him being the tourist. He looks like he fits too much in the world of espionage. Rounding out the main cast is Paul Bettany, who plays Inspector John Aitchison. He's an overzealous cop trying to capture Elise and her partner, Alexander Pierce. He's very dedicated to the case, but he's always one step behind Elise. Paul brings the character to life very well. He feels very believable. He also brings the charisma that Depp is missing. As a little Easter egg, the film also has two actors that are known for their roles in the James Bond franchise. First, you have Chief Inspector Jones, who is played by Timothy Dalton, who actually played James Bond. Then you have the character Reginald Shaw, who is played by Steven Berkoff, who played the villain Orlov in the James Bond film Octopussy. I didn't know this when I was watching The Tourist because I've never seen a James Bond movie, but I thought it was a very interesting little fact. The movie opens with Elise being tailed by a surveillance van. Jolie is looking picture perfect wearing couture as she's walking the streets of Paris. Her movements are smooth and collected, but very well thought out. And this is something that Angelina does spectacularly. It just looks so effortless for her. Whether she's drinking tea, driving a boat, or taking off her earrings, it's all just so fluid. When you watch the film, you'll see what I mean. She hops on a train for Venice and the story is set into motion. Here she meets the tourist, Frank Tupelo. He's absolutely gobsmacked by her beauty and her interest in him. They share some flirty conversations, and it seems like they've really connected. Once they arrive in Venice, they go their separate ways, but reconnect very shortly after. It's around this point where Johnny Depp's character Frank becomes plain, as I mentioned earlier. Now, I'm not saying he has to be a bumbling fool, but he's a small-town American tourist in Europe for the first time, being engaged by the most beautiful woman he's ever seen in his life. I would expect him to be a bit more emotive of this. Even when it becomes part of the chase, there's not much there. We then get introduced to Reginald Shaw, who is also looking for Elise because of her connections to his former business partner, Alexander Pierce. Pierce stole almost $1 billion from him. Shaw is a typical kind of bad guy. He's cold, he's angry, and has his little group of henchmen. So it's a three-way game of cat and mouse. You have Elise and Frank, Inspector Aitchison, and Reginald Shaw. The film does feel grounded. There's not a lot of crazy spy tech involved. While other thrillers have characters using crazy technical gadgets, The Tourist is more realistic. Everything is plausible. This also played against my expectations, which is 100% my fault. I was expecting this to be a verifiable spy thriller, but it's really more of a leisurely walk through Venice. And it's a beautiful tour. There's no lack of beautiful scenery since this was filmed on location in Venice. The characters are very much on the streets and the canals. The floating city is captured in sweeping movements that really draw the viewer in. But sometimes it felt like we were just seeing it in passing, as the characters rushed from location to location with very little dialogue. But at least there's a great score to cover up that silence. The soundtrack was full of contemporary classical jaunts. There's a song that's played at a gala ball that is truly enchanting. The cinematography in that scene is also great. And that's the thing about The Tourist. It's really nice to watch. And I'll mention the costuming again. Angelina Jolie has countless outfit changes, and she looks great in every single one. Every piece looked like it was hand-tailored for her. And when you pair this with her fluid movements, it's not hard to see how everybody in the movie keeps falling for her. The rest of the cast, though, were dressed more moderately. All of the inspectors and gangsters were limited to the usual business suits. Johnny Depp started out wearing more of the bohemian American style type of clothes that we're used to seeing him wear. He even brought his PJs on the trip. I wish they would have kept some of that personality throughout the film instead of just throwing him in another suit or dinner jacket. The Tourist was nominated for 3 Golden Globes: Best Picture, Best Actor, and Best Actress. But all 3 were in the musical or comedy category. Obviously, this isn't a musical, so that means it's a comedy, which isn't very accurate to me. There's some lighthearted humor throughout, but it's not the focus. The Mystery of Alexander Pierce is. There were a few scenes where Frank was the hapless tourist speaking Spanish to the Italian employees, and the staff didn't miss a beat. They went ahead and complimented him on his Spanish skills. I thought this was a very funny moment, but it's not a common occurrence. And according to the director, there is not enough comedy in the movie to warrant that comedy classification. And I guess the voters agreed because the film did not win a single Golden Globe in the comedy category. My final issue with The Tourist is the lack of meaningful dialogue. This reminds me of my recent review of Relay, another thriller that lacks decent dialogue. Full review of Relay available now. A mystery thriller like this is going to have a lot of chase sequences. There's longing glances, surveillance footage, and patient waiting. A lot of dialogue-light actions. And that's perfectly fine if the conversations that are happening are more fleshed out. Let's have some deep moments in between the action. Sprinkle in some emotion. Give the audience something to really draw them into the underlying conflict of the plot. Jolie had a few fleeting moments of depth, but her scene partners didn't reciprocate. In conclusion, The Tourist is a beautiful thriller comedy that just doesn't quite hit the mark. There's some real breathtaking scenery, but not enough happening in it. And that is why I am giving the 2010 film The Tourist the gift shop score of 5.5 out of 10. It's an average film with a pretty coat of paint. The $100 million budget and a $278 million return means that it was a success, but it wasn't critically well received. But what did you think of Angelina Jolie and Johnny Depp's adventure in Venice? Pull up your gondola in the comment section down below and tell me. And if you haven't seen it, it's available for rent or purchase on Prime, or just might be in your local bargain bin. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're only 10 subscribers away from the big 300. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at Baggage Claim. Bye!